Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about Lucid Motors and how they're growing even faster than anticipated, just like I predicted they would. I also wanted to do a bit of a Q&A on questions that I've seen time and time again in my YouTube comments section. If I don't answer your question today, be sure to leave a comment down below and I'll either answer it there and then in the comments or do some research and include it in my next video. I've also got a bit of a SENS update as well. So stay tuned and let's make some money. Now before I dive into the video, I just want to quickly remind you all to subscribe to the channel, ding that notification bell, drop a like down below and be sure to check out Webull and Freetrade for those free shares. You can currently get up to 2 free shares worth up to $1,850. Also, consider checking out the Patreon and becoming part of the team. Now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, let's talk about how Lucid Motors are growing even faster than anticipated. Lucid have recently listed a few new job openings on their website, and these job openings are really important. They've recently started looking for an EMEA logistics manager, which stands for Europe, the Middle East and Africa, a senior logistics manager in the Middle East, a retail construction manager in Europe, and most importantly, a facilities construction estimator. I personally think that the construction estimator is the key role here. And it reads that Lucid are currently looking for a construction estimator to support the construction of new manufacturing facilities. And then right at the bottom it says that the start date for this role is December. Although I think that might be a typo for December 2021, not December 2020. Now I think that Lucid obviously aren't going to hire someone in December of 2021 and then pay them to sit around and do basically nothing for almost 6 years until 2027 when the production figures jump up. They're not just going to be doing nothing, sitting around for 5 years, and then build a factory in a year and then start production. I think they'll start the planning, the quoting and the process of organising all of the subcontractors starting December of this year. And it will likely take all of 2022. And they'll construct the facility in 2023, ready for production, almost 4 years earlier than expected. The retail construction manager is also going to be in charge of rolling out a new portfolio of luxury automotive retail showrooms across the entire of Europe as part of their new global plan, which means that they're going to have showrooms in the UK, the Middle East, Amsterdam, France, Germany, and many more places as well, like Norway. This is super exciting for Lucid Motors. Not only do they plan on having 25 locations across the US by the end of 2021, but also plan on constructing many locations across the entire of Europe throughout 2022. This is a super fast and super aggressive expansion plan. Obviously, neither the Facilities Construction Estimator position or the Retail Construction Manager position would be complete without a logistics team. It was initially expected that Lucid would start delivering vehicles to Europe in 2022 and the Middle East in 2022 as well, but it looks more likely that they'll be doing both of those this year in 2021. Again, considering that Lucid aren't exactly going to hire a logistics team right now and pay them to do nothing for an entire year, it's likely that Lucid will be delivering to Europe and the Middle East when they launch their Lucid Air in the second half of 2021, probably in Q3 when they release it in the US as well. Just a quick reminder to scroll down and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not and you've already watched some of my other videos, then subscribe. And be sure to ding the notification bell as well, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Now let's do a bit of a Lucid Motors or a CCIV Q&A on some of the questions that I see most often in my comments section. Again, just a reminder, if I don't answer your question today, be sure to leave it down below in the comments section and I'll answer it in my next video. Firstly, let's talk about the Lucid Motors post-merger valuation. And that will lead me nicely on to my next question, which is why CCIV only owns 16% of Lucid Motors. So I'll explain why that has to be the case and why CCIV aren't a giant scam for only owning 16%. So CCIV currently has a market cap of $5.7 billion based on the recent share price of $22 a share. CCIV also has around 258 million shares in issue. However, the post-merger Lucid Motors will have around 1.6 billion shares. hence the 16%. You then take the 1.6 billion post-merger shares in issue and multiply it by the current share price of $22 a share, giving you a market cap of $35 billion, which places them nicely in between XPeng and NIO. However, remember that NIO once had a market cap back in February of around $90 billion. So actually, $35 billion for Lucid Motors isn't really that high. Obviously, if the market determines that the market cap for Lucid Motors should be higher, then obviously the share price is going to start going up. But if the market determines that the market cap for Lucid Motors should be less than 35 billion, then the share price is going to keep going down. But so why will CCIV only own 16% of Lucid Motors? Doesn't that just make CCIV a giant scam? Well, no, it doesn't. How many shares of CCIV do you think that Peter Rawlinson owns? Well, it's 0, because that would be insider trading. How many shares of CCIV do you think the Saudi PIF owns? Again, it's 0, because it would be insider trading. So do you think it would be fair if Peter Rawlinson and the Saudi PIF throw away all of their shares in Lucid Motors and have 0 shares in CCIV, which then obviously changes into Lucid Motors, and then Peter Rawlinson will own 0% of Lucid Motors and the Saudi PIF will also own 0%? Probably not. So therefore, CCIV are technically merging with 100% of Lucid Motors, but instead of having 258 million shares of CCIV, they're going to have to grant an additional 1.35 billion shares and give all of those to Peter Rawlinson, the Saudi PIF and other early stage investors and the PIPE investors, meaning that your shares get watered down. Your shares get watered down by about 6 times, or to 16% of what they originally were, so that the rest of the shares can be granted and given to Peter Rawlinson and the Saudi PIF. And that's why it might seem like CCIV only own 16% of Lucid, but technically they own 100% of Lucid. They're just granting new shares and watering your shares down. Now some of you might say, hang on Tom, I'm a little confused with the watering down. How many shares of Lucid Motors am I going to get for my shares in CCIV? And how are they going to change? Do I have to apply somewhere to get them changed? Are they going to change automatically? Do I have to sell my shares in CCIV and buy the shares in Lucid Motors? How does it work? So it's a 1-for-1 direct change. If you own 1 share of CCIV, you're going to own 1 share in Lucid Motors, or LCID. But instead of owning 1 in 258 million shares, you're going to only own 1 in 1.6 billion shares. So obviously as a percentage of the total, you're going to own a bit less. And in all major brokers like Webull, Freetrade, Robinhood, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, or anything else, the broker changes it for you automatically as soon as the market opens. You don't have to sell them or apply anywhere. It's done automatically at the market open. Now let's also touch on SENS. Back in February, SENS hit my price target of $5, but has since fallen along with the rest of the market down to around $2. So let's analyse why the SENS stock might have fallen. Has SENS been exposed to some kind of giant fraud? No, they haven't. Does SENS have an absolutely useless product that has no real world application? Again, no. Their product is actually really good and very useful. Has SENS been blocked or banned from FDA approval? Never allowed to apply again? Again, no. They're actually expecting FDA approval imminently, probably in Q3. In addition, SENS has also started advertising their 90-day product in the US and been calling some customers directly. There's also a huge piece of news for SENS, and that's that the company has recently seen some insiders buying the stock. 5 directors have purchased an aggregate of 22,000 shares, spending around $60,000. It's really good that even the internal directors believe that SENS should be valued much higher than $2 per share, and they're willing to put their hard-earned salary into it. I personally also follow the beliefs of the directors, and I think that when the wider market recovers, SENS will be going back towards $5 and then eventually towards $10 as well. I think that now is a good time to follow the directors and buy some SENS if you haven't already. I personally have recently been adding to my SENS position, and you'd know that if you were part of the team on Patreon. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out some of my others. Also remember to get your free shares on Webull or Freetrade, and also consider joining the Patreon and becoming part of the team. But for now, cheers.